Now, speaking of things slowing down, we only got one piece of news this week.
Yeah.
It's big news. It's big, but it's one piece of news.
Yeah.
And Devin, you posted about it, and it's funny because I was thinking the exact same thing. I just didn't say it, but
Yeah, so I put something on my story. I saw this and I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, we really bullied them into adding this top bar. You know, when this helmet first released, everyone's like, this thing is hideous. It's missing something. It's missing the top bar. And it looks like we did enough. And now Riddell has added a top bar. Initially, this helmet came without a top bar, so it can supposedly flex better. So I wonder if adding this top bar has kind of negated that, or if they kind of found a workaround for it to have the top bar and then still have the same amount of flex. It doesn't really look like it's mounted anywhere. I don't know if you noticed that. Do you think is it mounted anywhere up top or no?
No.
So
floating.
it's pretty much strictly for looks, right?
Well, I'm assuming there was a couple things. So, like, how do you? So they said no. A top bar gets in the way. If you have a top bar, it will not allow the helmet to flex. We got to get rid of that top bar. And everyone said, okay, well, maybe safety wise, yes, but like it looks weird and we're not ready for that. And it was like, well, that I was kind of willing to concede with. Because I was like, you know what? If it's like the next evolution of helmets, like it's gonna come either way. They always want to get safer. So like maybe they don't have a top bar anymore. And like I was honestly starting to get used to it with a visor. Without a visor, it still looked weird.
Yeah.
But I was getting used to it. But then throughout the season, you saw a bunch of issues with actually like a top bar not existing outside of like cosmetic. So there was like helmets getting like, if you don't have the top bar, it's like you needed the visor to close the gap up enough. But if you had a visor, the visor didn't work in the rain because you want to be able to take your visor off in the rain, so people would remove it. But then with the larger gap without a visor, like helmets were getting stuck together, and they've clearly changed. It looks like the material of the face mask as well. It used to be more like it was like a plastic looking, like a thicker tube almost.
Yeah.
Like that's what it described. Yeah, so like they've changed some stuff. There's a couple things. So number one, it's kind of weird that they're like on their Instagram, they're like still posting like their original video. Like same day of, so it's like, okay, it doesn't even look like that anymore. Like, I don't know. It just feels really misaligned as far as like, at least just from a marketing perspective, but like, oh, they're promoting this stuff, but like they had all this footage like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like none of this is new. So like, why are you reposting it now? Let's see. Did they partner for the All-American Bowl? They might have.
Just speed flexes?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
maybe.
speed
Yeah.
flexes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know there was at the Under Armour Next, there was speed flexes as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they did something with them. But anyways, then they posted it at the AFCA, and so that's what the American Football Coaches Association or something.
Yep.
Basically, that's the thing every year where all of like the companies, the manufacturers come and like show off all their stuff. So it'll be all like the padding companies, girdle companies, Sports Star, Riddell, all of them still go to it. We don't see as much of the companies that we used to. So Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Oakley. Most of the big hitters kind of don't anymore. And yeah, that's kind of, where they showed it. But anyways, right after that, they showed another marketing photo of like the championship being Michigan and Washington, but it didn't have a top bar. So it's like, it's kind of like there's these two things fighting with each other from a marketing perspective that they're not a little aligned. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they spin it, because if they like, there's really no, marketing is always a spin. Because like, are they going to say, hey, we noticed there was safety issues, so we switched it? Or, hey, there was people didn't love the way it looked, so we switched it? Or they just completely ignore it and just don't say anything and just move on? I kind of think they'll do that.
I don't think the new top bar face mask is like the standard.
Yeah.
I think it's just another option for people to have. I don't know if all this like old like marketing, the stuff with no visor is like incorrect or like not as it could be. I think this is just a new face mask option for them to have. So like guys can kind of make the decision if they want the top bar or if they don't want the top bar.
Yeah.
So
So wait, you think they'll be allowed the option?
I mean, just looking at the caption on that post, it says these new face masks for our Riddell Axiom are looking clean. So I think it's just a face mask option, not like the standard, like how they're all going to be moving forward.
Oh, I took it as like, oh, we're going to switch it so they all have face masks starting next year.
They might do that, but I don't think they can admit that to themselves. You know, I don't think they could go out and say that because that would basically be like admitting that they were wrong about not having the top bar. So even though that might be the case, I don't think they would admit it, you know. Also, the picture they used for this doesn't have a visor, which is weird. I'd like to see what it would look like with a visor and a top bar. We'll see.
Now, I know Africa's always ahead of stuff, so I'm assuming marketing-wise on their website, they won't probably be ready for it.
Probably not.
But let's go to, I want to look at face masks. Can you buy face masks? Accessories face masks?
I think I've tried, like, for our What Pros Were videos to, like, find face masks here to link, and I don't think I can ever find face masks from Riddell. I always go to Green Gridiron. So maybe
I doubt that Green Gridiron would have them. If they're just presenting it at AFCA, that means there's obviously no probably purchase orders from like Green Gridiron or anyone yet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check. I don't know if they even have Axiom face mask. Period. I don't see any.
Where do you buy a Riddell Axiom face mask if you want one?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. Let's see. I just googled it. Shopping. I can't find any for sale.
No. That's odd.
Kind of tricky. So if you get an Axiom, then you have to stick with whatever face mask you get. So if you buy an Axiom and like at the time you're playing linebacker and you have a linebacker friendly face and then you make the switch to skill position, you just can't change your face mask. That would kind of suck.
I mean, maybe they're gatekeeping it with the rep, their Riddell rep, because they gatekeep the ability to buy the helmets anyways. So I'm assuming it's just a line, but whatever.
Yeah, they do things.
Anyways, yeah, I'm curious. I think probably, I don't know. No clue what they're going to do there. Curious to see how they spin it. I don't think they will. I think they'll just leave it and just move on.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.